Hi guys, Bak Kwa, as pronounced in Hokkien or Rogan in Mandarin, is the Chinese version of pork jerky, seasoned with soy sauce and sugar and grilled over charcoal with open fire. But living in an apartment also means I have to forego the idea of doing it with the barbecue pit. So, I have developed a recipe for making bak kwa with my oven. If you want to try your hand making this Chinese pork jerky with only the oven, this recipe will be the simplest and the delicious one. Let's get into the details. This recipe is quite straightforward. First, you need to mince or ground the pork. Bak kwa made with lean meat alone is dry and hard. That's why I use shoulder loin, which contains some fat. Cut the pork into small pieces and ground it to a paste with a food processor. As an alternative, you can save time by using ground pork sold at the butcher. Make sure it has a fat content of about 20 to 30%. Once you get the ground pork ready, add the seasonings. The seasonings that we use are sugar, some dark soy sauce, oyster sauce, fish sauce, some Shaoxing wine, honey, Chinese 5-spice powder, some ground white pepper, and lastly some salt. All you need is to mix the seasonings and the ground meat. Mix it very well with a pair of chopsticks. This step alters the meat's texture and helps the meat to absorb the liquid seasonings and turns it into a gooey paste. Let the meat paste rest in the refrigerator for an hour until the meat absorbs all the liquid seasonings. Place about 5 ounces or 150 grams of the meat paste on the baking paper. The baking paper should be slightly larger than 9 by 9 inches square. Place a piece of cling wrap or plastic sheet on top of the meat paste. I prefer using plastic sheets which can be washed and reusable. Place your hand on top of the plastic sheet to spread out the meat paste. Roll out the meat paste evenly with the rolling pin and shape it into a square. Remove the plastic sheet. Then straighten the 4 sides with a dough cutter. It's easier to use your hand to feel the thickness than depending on the rolling pin. Even thickness is essential because any thinner part will get burned quickly while baking or grilling. Remove the plastic sheet and transfer the meat paste together with the baking paper to a baking tray. Now it's ready to grill the bak kwa with the oven. This is a 2-step process. First, we grill it to form a sheet of cooked meat. Preheat the top and bottom heating elements of the oven to 160 degrees Celsius or 320 degrees Fahrenheit. Place a tray of raw meat paste at the middle rack to grill for 15 minutes. It will eventually turn into a sheet of cooked meat that is elastic and pliable. The color of the meat will darken slightly and the size will shrink significantly. Transfer the cooked meat to a chopping board. Then cut it into 4 small squares. Prepare the basic liquid by combining 4 portions of honey with 1 portion of water. And arrange the bak kwa on a wire rack with small gaps in between. Brush the honey liquid on both sides of each half-done bak kwa. Now we grill the bak kwa for the second time. Adjust the temperature of the top and the bottom heating elements to 230 degrees Celsius or 445 degrees Fahrenheit. The duration varies as it depends on the distance of the bak kwa from the heating elements. In my case, the bak kwa takes about 6 minutes to start sizzle. Once it starts sizzles, open the oven's door and turn over the bak kwa. Do this every 2 to 3 minutes to ensure even grilling. Once the edges start to char, remove it immediately from the oven. It is done and you can enjoy it now or keep in the refrigerator up to 1 to 2 weeks. That's how I make bak kwa, the Chinese version of the pork jerky with the oven. If you like the recipe, I have included it in the description right below the video. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button and give me a like. I'll see you again in some other similar videos in the future soon, and bye for now.